Welcome back to Real Talk. This is me, Nick, keeping you guys company all the way until 6 p.m. That's right. We are talking about all the things that is happening right now in the UK, in the world. And one of the things that is happening right now is that face masks in classrooms are expected to be scrapped off. Yeah, so they're going to discontinue the use of these face masks inside schools. So, yeah, this is something to be looking forward to. But is it the wise choice? That is the kind of question, that is also popping in my head right now. And I'm thinking, hey, is it a good idea for the government to actually scrap this whole face mask scenario and, have kids not wearing their face mask? Isn't that a form of endangering the child? That is, something that I wonder if the government has really been considering this on a proper basis. So the wearing of these face masks in the secondary school classrooms in England will not be required after the 17th of May. And this is what the government is expected to confirm. So yeah, the face coverings has been recommended to since the return of schools, back in March. But that will end as part of the phasing out of these lockdown measures. I mean, the plan is, like I said, Boris Johnson's plan. The whole idea is to get everything back into normal, to get the whole country back into normalcy. And to do that, you'll have to remove all these elements. Yes, you have to cut down on the social distancing. These are things that he wants to discontinue and get the country back to level one. But to do that, though, first we have to make sure that we cut down on the number of cases in the country. There's still a bunch of cases that is happening. And there have been concerns also. People have been talking about this. They've been expressing their concerns when it comes to masks, as they come in the way and they get in the way of communication and learning. But a group of scientists and teacher unions has argued that masks should stay to keep school students and staff safe. I mean, it's a no-brainer right there. You got to understand that, yeah, I mean, end of the day, it is true that all of this is very important. And, the masks does sometimes restrict students, especially when it comes to conversations and learning and all of that. But at the same time, you got to remember safety is very important. It is vital, especially in a time like this where there's a virus going around and infecting people through the air we breathe. So, yeah, the government is expected to confirm the return of students to university campuses from the 17th of May, although these surveys suggest that in practice, most of these students have already returned to their term time addresses. That's right. So yeah, these are things, that is happening. And about half of the students have been studying online since January. And yeah, they'll be able to return to face-to-face teaching, although some courses might already have effectively stopped teaching by the stage of the university year. And yeah, most of them have discontinued it because when you come to think about it, I mean, the whole semester is kind of done at the moment. And these are just one of the reasons, why this whole mask situation and all the learning situation is getting back. Everyone's going to go back to school. Most probably, it's very likely that by the time 17th of May comes along, everyone will be returning back to school and colleges and universities and all of that. But also, you got to remember that even if they are returning, there is still the risk of the virus, still lingering around that corner. So leaving this whole lockdown, when schools returned during last term, face masks were not expected to be worn in these secondary schools. So this is where, social distancing was not possible, and a safety measure intended to be all this just temporary. So the next stage of the relaxing lockdown measures is to be announced on a Monday, which is today, and is likely to see the withdrawal of advice to wear masks in class. And as part of, the package of changing being implemented from the 17th of May. So this is all essentially getting in line with the roadmap that Boris Johnson is planning for the country and for the people in the UK. So yeah, School Minister Nick Gibb has already signaled, to the Education Select Committee that if the roadmap is going in the direction that we expect it to go in, then we hope that face masks will not be necessary after that date. That's right. Although there's been some more details about wearing masks in other areas of the schools outside of lessons. So Jeff Barton, also the leader of the ASCL, head teachers union, said it is obviously better for communication and learning if we don't need to have children wearing face masks in classrooms. But we know that there will be concerns among some staff and parents about the risks of infection. I mean, end of the day, yes, right now, we got to understand the situation. It is very tentative. When you think about it, parents are not 100% on board with sending their children to school because there is a risk of possibly contracting the disease. And this is one of the reasons, rather stopping, scrapping off the whole use of the mask is just gonna put some unease into their hearts. And this is something that, a lot of parents have been discussing, and they're not quite on a board with it as of yet. They're not quite 100% happy with the whole situation, or the suggestion rather by the government to tell them, hey, your kids don't really need to wear masks. I mean, are we, to like, the real question is, are we in a rush to get back to normalcy, that we are going to be foregoing all of these important things when it comes down to the pandemic and the risks of possibly contracting the disease? I mean, hey, you guys can always hit me up with your opinions or your thoughts on the matter. The numbers to do so are 07852473473. Feel free to WhatsApp me your thoughts on this. And also, don't forget, you can check us out on our webpage, which is www.relaxradio.net. And also, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And we're also pretty big on Twitch as well. And you can download our app, though, on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Carry us all day, every day, 365, 24/7. That's right. I'm going to keep you up to date with all of the latest trends and gossips and news around the world and across the UK. And yeah, getting back to the topic at hand, like I said, all of these teachers and staff members are really concerned about this. So a group of scientists and unions, including the National Education Union, last week they wrote to the Department for Education to say they were extremely concerned at the prospect, of face coverings no longer being required in these secondary schools. So, I mean, it comes to the terms, when you think about it, at the moment, a lot of these people, like I said, are not 100% happy about this at the moment, because you got to think about it. The risks of the pandemic is still there. There are still people dying, and there are still people getting infected. There's still cases, like I said, 21 cases from 100,000 people. There's still cases going on. I mean, until it reaches the point where where the cases have dropped down from one to 100, 1 in 100,000 to 0. Well, I think scraping off, the whole face mask thing is a bad idea. It's not really a great idea, and not a lot of people. And it's, it's putting the general public on an unease, because they're not going to be the faith in especially when it comes to this, is not going to be 100%. They can't be, they can't trust, like, just because, the government says this so and so is happening doesn't mean that they can guarantee the safety of all the children as well. So, they were arguing, a lot of these unions especially, they were talking about it, and they argued and they said that these masks were still a required safety measure in shops and public transport, and there was a lack of evidence that it was time to withdraw their use in school. So the letter, signed by more than 20 scientists and health experts, suggested that a change in wearing masks in school should not be considered until the next stage of ending the lockdown, and which is due on 21 of June. Yeah, that's in case you guys are wondering what's on 21 of June. Well, in case you are living under a rock, it is the time that Boris Johnson is planning, for the roadmap to hit its full force and make sure the whole country gets vaccinated. And that means people above the ages of 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, and below 30s as well will get their vaccinations. And yeah, hopefully, the country can progress and move on from that point. And yeah, because especially with the situation right now, like I said, the number of vaccines in the country is exponentially increasing. The number of cases also is reducing to a point, there we are expected to get back to normalcy, hopefully by June 21st. But that's still a far ways ahead. There's still a couple of months more to go before we can even think about that. I mean, it's still, although the government would like to get back to normal like that, it still takes time and it takes a lot of work. And hopefully the people, especially when it comes down to the people, they make sure that they follow the rules and regulations imposed by them. Then hopefully by then the virus, by then we can know for a fact that the transmissibility of this whole coronavirus thing is reduced to the point where we don't really need to wear these face masks, or we don't have to follow any of this social distancing. And yeah, this is just just all of a part of it. So hopefully by then we can move forward with that. And yeah, since we're on the topic of the coronavirus and all these face mask situation, taking a look at things at overseas, in Japan. So Japan extends their COVID-19 restrictions as the Olympic draws closer. Yeah, that is, something that they're doing. And the state of emergency has been extended in several regions of Japan as the COVID-19 cases surge up. So less than 3 months before the Tokyo Olympics. Oh no, that is, a blowback to the country right there. I mean, they didn't expect for something like that to happen. Well, restrictions in Tokyo, Osaka, Hyogo, and Kyoto had been due to end on the 11th of May, but will now now remain in place until the end of the month. So yeah, Prime Minister Yoshide Suga also said they had added Aichi and Fukuoka to the regions under a state of emergency. And they say the move casts more doubt on whether the Olympics will go ahead as planned. I mean, right now, even if, the Olympics do go as planned, there's still going to be a lot of hassles. There's still going to be a lot of restrictions going to be imposed, especially when it comes to this, because this is end of the day. You got to remember all of this is going to be bringing in the masses. This is a mass program. It's a whole massive program where a lot of people from all aspects of the world are coming in to one place, and hopefully, this is not something that can cause another outbreak. So under the state of emergency, bars and restaurants have had to shut down or stop serving alcohol, while cinemas and karaoke parlors have been closed. So yeah, Mr. Suga said that the government had hoped that a short and powerful state of emergency would contain the country's fourth wave of the virus. But he said, the number of new cases was still at a high level in majority cities, and hospitals continue to be overwhelmed in some areas. So yeah, Osaka Governor Hirofumi Yoshimura also warned that his region's medical system was reaching breaking point. I mean, like I said, it is bound to happen when you think about these things. I mean, looking at the things right now, one of this is that the possibility, the country can get overwhelmed when it comes to the number of cases. So yeah, when a country gets to that point where there's so many cases that the health force starts crumbling because they are being overwhelmed with these cases, it just goes to show that they're trying to avoid all of this, and they would like to prevent all of these kind of issues happening. And they're reaching the breaking point, and they're saying, that right now we are not at the greatest of situations. So in a nursing home in Osaka, 61 residents were infected with the virus, and 14 died while trying to receive hospital treatment. And this is what they've been saying. And earlier on Friday, also, Yasatoshi Nishimura, the economy minister, who is also in charge of the COVID-19 measures, said variant strains of the virus were spreading rapidly. Yeah, but they're saying, local media reports that some rules will still be eased, such as allowing a limited number of fans back into sports stadiums, despite other restrictions being extended. That's right, and these are just, the things that they are planning to do. Hope they're not going to cancel the whole Olympics outright, but they are trying to get everyone back into the scene, as long as it's going to be a limited number of people coming in. So yeah, the Olympics are due to begin in Tokyo on the 23rd of July, but they were postponed from the 2020 because of the pandemic. That's right. So more than 10,000 athletes from 200 countries and regions are due to take part. I mean, when it comes down to Olympics, these are our countries. Like I said, 200 different countries are going to be involved in this. So the likelihood, I mean, there is an added risk, of if a person is infected, there's always the possibility that they could spread it out to their countries and to their people of their, population, the populace. So these are one of the reasons why Tokyo right now, the Japanese especially, are taking extra precautions when it comes down to this. And Japan's Games president Seiko Hashimoto said they would welcome a visit by the International Olympic Committee, the IOC president Thomas Bach, this month. But they said it would be very difficult to organize with the restrictions now having been extended. That's right. The situation right now isn't looking its greatest right now. It's kind of looking a little bit bleak, for Japan and for other parts of the country. But, these are things that is happening, and nobody really expected the whole coronavirus situation to blow out of proportions like this. This is just another reason, why they are taking these extra added measures. And yeah, hopefully, they can get through with this, and we can get back to the Olympics as soon as possible. And, taking a look at other things also, Elon Musk's SpaceX to launch the Dogecoin moon mission. Yeah, he's planning to do all of that. So Elon Musk has said his rocket company SpaceX will now accept the meme-inspired cryptocurrency Dogecoin as a payment. I mean, it started off as a joke online. When you really think about it, when you look at all the situation, Elon Musk made a joke out of it, and now it is crazy. The stocks of each of these Dogecoins are exponentially super high. So in a tweet, he said the commercial space exploration firm will launch the Dodge 1 mission to the moon early next year. I mean, think about it. From a meme-inspired joke to an actual, ship. a rocket ship. So that's just something that is crazy. And it came, as the Dogecoin continued to fall after the technology's billionaire said on television that it was a hustle. So yeah, last month he tweeted that SpaceX was going to put a literal Dogecoin on the literal moon. I'm telling you, this guy Elon Musk is hilarious. He does have a sense of humor, if anything else. And anyways, though, the Canada's Geometric Energy Corporation announced the Dogecoin funded mission earlier on Sunday, although the statement did not reveal its financial value. So yeah, they also added, this mission will demonstrate the application of cryptocurrency beyond Earth orbit and, set the foundations for interplanetary commerce. And SpaceX Vice President of Commercial Sales, Tom Oncinero, was quoted as saying in his statement. So yeah, Mr. Musk's tweet in the last couple of months have helped to turn the once obscure digital currency, which was started as a social media joke, into the world's fourth biggest cryptocurrency. Yeah, it soared more than 800% over the last month, with its total market value rising above $70 billion. And this is all according to Cryptocurrency Data Tracker. And yeah, they're all saying all this. So according to the sources, they say Dogecoin lost more than a third of its price on Sunday after Mr. Musk called it a hustle while he was hosting the Saturday Night Live comedy sketch television show. So yeah, in February, electric car maker Tesla, in case you guys are wondering what this whole scenario is about, Mr. Musk, the chief executive, said it bought 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin and was planning to accept the cryptocurrency as payment for its vehicles. So yeah, the announcement was seen as another major step towards mainstream acceptance of this whole Bitcoin thing, and helped to boost the prices of the cryptocurrency to a fresh record high of nearly $62,000. Yeah. So last month, Tesla announced its profits for the first 3 months of the year were 438 million. So that is the first quarter of the year. And yeah, that's from $16 million last year. So that bolstered by sales of the Bitcoin and environmental credits. So Mr. Musk also revealed on Saturday Night Live that he had Asperger's syndrome. If you guys are wondering, yeah, what happened? He did drop a couple of those bombs on live television as well. And yeah, people with Asperger's, they, like I said, they interpret all of these things, a lot of these things. And he was talking about, how his condition was. And yeah, I'm just saying, a guy with, just because you have a certain condition doesn't mean you cannot move on and move forward in life. And this is just Elon Musk is just a prime example of all of this. I mean, hey, that man is an amazing person. And yeah, just goes to show, you put in your effort, you will definitely be rewarded, be it another 5 years, 10 years, doesn't really matter, as long as you put your work into it. And yeah, with that being said, it is about that time of the day for me to head on out of here and make way for my buddy Matthew, who's going to be keeping you company on the vibe. Hey, he's going to give you guys vibing all the way. So make sure you guys keep it locked right here. And in case you guys have any comments or have any opinions or anything of that sort, always feel free to call us up. The numbers are 07852-473-473. That's right. You can always WhatsApp us, and you can always download the app on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Carry us all day, every day. And with that, my name is Nick, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place, same frequency. Peace and much love.